Hey everyone, it's Kel. I hope you're doing well. I haven't been here for a while. I've had a super duper heat rash like you can't believe, but it seems to have toned itself down. So I'm happy to be here. And today I wanted to talk a little bit more on something that I've talked about previously, and that was um, protecting yourself from outward influences that you have fear that they're going to take something from you. And I know I discussed this in a last video, and for the most part I was talking about the importance of getting your vibration running really well, and that means having thoughts, words, and deeds that are all congruent to each other. I mean, that's critical. That's my cat that I brought with me from Canada. She is almost 15. Um, so yeah, having your thoughts, words, and deeds congruent to each other. And they all need to be hinged on your heart's desire. And this is no easy task. Following the heart is the task of the soldier for sure. And it's such a subtle, it has such a subtle voice to it. And, but really all of us on the planet, this is what we are here learning about, how to follow our center. And, you know, to live true to our own values, our own ideals, and to also move away from illusions, and that can be really difficult. And of course I've done these things, and the moving away from the illusions can be the hardest, because a lot of these illusions that we have were wired into us at a very young age, and so it's really hard to shift over. It just feels so wrong to every part of us because we've been holding on to those for so long. But when you do turn the road to true desires and the true path, as you get on it and as you walk that path, you can feel the resonance within you become happier and happier because you're becoming more and more aligned. Now, when it comes to people infringing on you, or you have this fear that somebody's going to do something to you, yes. The other day I was talking about being in alignment. And when you are in alignment, your body and mind are moving in such sync, such harmony, that you don't attract anything like that, and it's not on your mind. However, getting to that place is no easy task. I mean, this whole thing around mindfulness is no easy task. And I know some of you might think, oh yeah, mindfulness, I can do it. I do it every day. Do it every day. You know, every minute of every day is difficult. It's hard to stay the course. But of course, working on it little bit by little bit can actually get you there better than trying to have a super grand change right away. And the thing I want to say on this video is that we live in a physical world, and it's hard to forget about that, because we are faced with all these hardcore physical things. You know, we need money to pay the mortgage or the rent. We need money to buy our food. We need, you know, we have demands on us every day, and we have to meet those demands, or there are critical, there's critical situations we'll have to deal with if we don't. So, but trying to keep the whole sort of spiritual world in alignment with the physical world is really what we're trying to do. So imagine yourself in the middle, and you've got the spiritual here and you've got the physical here. Trying to get them so they're resonating harmoniously is really the way to do. And as you carry on with this, the physical, once you're harmonized, the physical starts to melt away, because you are getting yourself into such good spiritual state. And that's so trying to jump from the physical in pair. My cat is a little bit spoiled, and so she is always, okay, fine. Okay, I had to let the cat out. So trying to live in a balance with the physical world and the spiritual world is the hard task at hand, isn't it? Because when our mind, when we're in the physical world, or when we have all these physical demands, we get a little bit unglued sometimes. And really, this is the whole purpose of spirituality, to kind of rein it all in, to have that bit of, oh, you know, here we are again at this physical thing, and I'm going to deal with this in the best possible way, working towards it every day, being able to handle the physical world by balancing it with the spiritual world, or with the spiritual principles. And this is really the task at hand. And I know a lot of people, they're like, yeah, I'm really into the spiritual stuff. I'm going to manifest $1 million overnight. Well, that's not really the task. The task here, being human, is to really resonate here, whether you're living the life as a pauper or as a king. It is really to hear the voice of the heart and to go in that direction. And again, that is hard to do. It's hard to do, but that's the task at hand. So, living in balance means taking care of yourself. It means eating healthy. It means exercising. And if you can't do all of these things right away, you just baby step yourself up to doing them a little bit today, a little bit tomorrow, and living in these small increments. Living in these small increments is what's going to get you there. Trying to jump over the hedge in one full go doesn't really, it's hard to maintain. So pacing yourself, finding the enjoyments in every day, and working on your mind and body through basic health practices is what's going to help you in meditation, because the food you eat is going to help you focus. Okay, so when you eat healthy food, it keeps you calmer. The cells can turn better. They can get through their processes better. They can flow through the body better. They can feed and absorb nutrients better when you get as close to the real thing as possible. And that means eating whole grain breads. That means eating farm fresh food. And I know that we all are buying stuff from the grocery store, but if you can buy a little bit, you know, closer to home in your local area, it all plays a part. It's no one great thing that gets you into this incredible state of suddenly you're aligned. It is incremental things that bring you into that feeling good and getting aligned. And exercise is paramount. It is paramount. Because exercise speeds the processes up in your body and helps clear out all the toxins. And when you have lots of toxins in your body, it's hard to think, it's hard to move, it's hard to do things. And this is why a lot of the old sages, they used to clean their organs, and some of the way they used to clean them is kind of disgusting. Like, for example, I was reading one thing because I'm into this whole cleansing the inside, where they tie all these little pieces of cloth together and then they swallow them all and then they bring them up, and that is to clean out the stomach. I prefer to clean out the stomach in different ways, you know, going on a juice fast, having a water fast, or there are a plethora of different ways. I gotta tell you, my champion juicer is just, that's the one thing I miss being here, is I miss my champion juicer, and I haven't been able to find a juicer online that will deliver here that has the European plug. And so, but the juicing is just fantastic. You can do different combos for different effects. And, but it really is doing it on a daily basis, like every day, doing a little bit more from your health. And somebody was asking me about, gee, what do I eat? And at the time I did the Kundalini, I mean, I'd always eaten fairly healthy. It was the exercise that I was doing. I was doing a ton of exercise, but I've always eaten really healthy. However, at the time I was doing the Kundalini, I was kind of drinking a bit of wine, eating those potato chips, and but I was driven. I wanted to know. And if you're in the process of learning meditation in order to do the Kundalini, or you're deep in meditation and you will be doing the Kundalini, you don't need to do yoga. You don't need to eat right. You don't need to do anything. You need to focus, and you need to focus on love, and that is it. However, feeling good, I believe, when you treat your body right with the right foods and minerals and all the things that it takes to be human, you know, bathing, exercising, you know, meeting with friends, having a job that you kind of enjoy. When you get that whole balance going on, life becomes pretty good. Life becomes good. It's when the mind gets kind of out of sync. It's like, gee, I want more than this. And I mean, we always want, don't we? I mean, there's no end to the wanting. I think when the wanting ends, and I was there a couple times in my life, that's when the whole feelings of suicide come in. So don't think that that wanting is unhealthy. That wanting keeps you going. And another thing that I've learned was I came into a situation where financially I was in a very good place, and I thought, wow, I don't really have to work anymore. What a mistake that was. And I remember my father, before he died many years ago, he said to me, Kelly, never stop working. And he was right. Never working. I mean, with everything all in balance, but working is essential. Getting up and going to work every day is essential. And so I'm looking forward to going back to that. And so having really a balance of things in life really gets you into that harmonious place. But again, the original question was, and I've moved so far away from this in this video, the original question was, how do you protect yourself? Well, as you're working on your vibration, you've got to listen to your internal prompts. You know, you're leaving the house, you're worried about this thing, suddenly you get the feeling, gee, I should lock the door, I should close the windows. Do that. Do that. Listen to yourself, really. And the whole thing about getting the body, mind, and harmony, and eating good food, and all the health practices that people do all around the globe, is to really get the vessel working well, so you can hear the inner voice clearly and you can clearly feel the impulses. Because when you're in a state of not treating the mind body right, you're getting these impulses, they are being translated in a variety of different ways, and maybe far off the beaten path, because I have done that in my life as well. And getting back to me, which has really been the whole reason why I came out to this farm, was to do healing. Getting back to me has really been adjusting my habits, and that means no wine, and that means no candy bars, and that means no potato chips. All these things that I absolutely love. I love all this stuff. I mean, I don't just eat one grape, I eat 5 pounds of grapes in one sitting. Like, you know, learning moderation and eating at meal times, and eating the right combined foods at meal times. I gotta tell you, eating the right combined meal foods at meal times has really given me a feeling of satisfaction. And that's craziness. I went on this specific diet and I really didn't want to do it, which tells me I should. But I really didn't want to do it, and I'll try it for a few days. And it was balancing carbs, and I thought I shouldn't be eating the carbs. You know, I want to lose this extra weight. I shouldn't be eating the carbs. But eating the carbs and eating the vegetables and eating a protein together in a balanced way, like the right measurements, gives you a feeling of satisfaction when you eat. And I have never really had that feeling of such satisfaction when I eat. Like, I eat a lot and I love everything. But doing this combined diet, I think I told you guys a while back that it was a diet from a guy, a doctor that wrote a book in Italy. I don't know his name, can't remember, Italian. But he talks about, he's not the first to do this, talk about the combining foods and having the carb with the good fats and with the vegetables, and how to do it and how many grams of this and how many grams of that. Just, you know, measuring out grams. I thought, oh, that's going to be an instant death for me. But it was actually good, and I had feelings of satisfaction after I ate the meal. See, normally after I eat a meal, I'm like, okay, what's next? But this, I actually felt satiated, so I just wanted to mention that. So getting yourself into alignment to clearly process all the impulses that you're getting, and to be able to clearly hear the inner voice, is really what it is all about. And, you know, as you go down this path, you will start really noticing, because you'll be getting really the feeling of what path to take. Like, for example, I was just thinking when I was at the grocery store, I was standing in front of something like, oh God, I really want to buy that thing. And I'm like, I don't want to buy it though. It's a stupid thing. I'll never use it, blah, blah, blah. This is the mind, right? But I just had this feeling to buy this thing, and I couldn't get out of the store. I had to go. I just went, okay, this feeling's killing me. I better go back and just buy the thing. I bought that thing, and that thing changed my life for the better in so many ways. So being able to really clearly feel those impulses, go this way, go that way, pick this, take that, give this, give that, say this, do that. That's really the task at hand. Now, you can pressurize the Kundalini and just go, okay, I'm just going to pressurize and I'm going to do this Kundalini and I'm going to get super connected that way. That's fine. You can do that. That is hard work, man. Let me tell you. No, that is hard work. As a matter of fact, after I did it, I thought, who in the world could do what I've just done? Because it's so much self-sacrifice, and your body is going through such a tilt of power, like it's just powerhousing through everything. I just thought there's no human on the planet that could actually do this. I mean, I have 4 planets in Taurus. That makes me pretty strong. And at the time, my body was just a rock. But you can do that. You can powerhouse and force grow the Kundalini. And you can also do the other method, which is having a good life and balancing your life out and taking care of yourself and doing a little bit of meditation. And as you get yourself really in good shape, like good shape mentally, good shape physically, and your life is, you know, really shaping out well, if you get the impulse to sit in meditation a little bit longer, and so you do it. So, you know, whatever is happening to you, you will be guided down that path. Getting your body mind into good shape by treating it well helps you really feel the impulses strongly, and you know what they're directed at. Because you can have all these impulses coming in and it can make you feel kind of fancied. You don't really know where they're directed at. But the more you get centered in your power by working on yourself in a variety of ways, okay? You know, I mean, I have had a variety of treatments of all sorts of things. Today I go for another treatment. I'm having some somatic body work done. But the more you have done, the more you align. Now, I also wanted to mention that somebody had said, you know, forget about the past. Well, you can forget about the past all you want, but your body doesn't. So really dealing with body work helps you shed the sorrows, the griefs, all the things you're holding on to, and it helps you become lighter. I never used to believe this. I never used to believe any of this growing up. I used to think it was just all crazy. Just go do it and do whatever you're going to do and have fun. But in fact, it actually makes a super huge difference. And it kind of has like a cumulative effect. So the more you do, the better you feel. And you know when to stop. I'm doing all this hypnotherapy, and I said to my hypnotherapist, you know, I'm going to stop for a while at this time and that time because I'm doing these other things. And she said, fine. And and it felt right to say that to her. You're really going to know through feeling, and feeling is the teacher, because she is the mother principle that is inside your mind and body. You are going to know really what direction to turn, where to go, what to say, what not to say, when to stay quiet, which is generally most of the time, and when you see the target that you want, when to make a beeline for it. And you're really going to understand that whole sense of, I hate to say it, but this is what it is. It's the whole sense of the kill. And the kill, this predatory nature, actually exists all through nature. It's very normal to have. Now, sometimes it's taken to extremes, and sometimes it's not used at all in the opposite extreme. But really, when you are in this sort of mind-body awareness, connectivity, and you're really processing all the impulses and the signals that you're getting internally, and the voice, the internal voice, which was telling me everything to do with meditation, because I had no idea what I was doing. It was saying, stay here, do this, do that, do this. And I'm like, okay, because I know nothing. And that's the beauty of not going to a place to learn meditation incidentally. Listening to yourself and honing in and listening to your inner teacher, because your inner teacher knows everything about you. Your inner teacher knows how to get you on the path to deep meditation faster than anybody else can get you there. That is the truth right there. So as you hone in and you're doing all this body work, you know when the kill is coming. And that means you know when to ask for that raise. You know when to say something to your mother-in-law that you're not crazy about, or you know when to hold your hand up, or when to run forward and ask for something, or you know, because you're following the impulses, and you wait. And you wait until the impulse comes, and the impulse will say now, and then you go and you get what you want. That is life, and that becomes exciting when you are inside of yourself and you're in this well-oiled machine, and you know when the time is to do whatever the thing is. The time is to do this now, and the time is to do that after. And you wait for the impulses that give you the signals, then you know you're really in the tunnel of the wave. And that is exciting. And I lived on my way up to meditation. There was a time where I left, I think I was 17. I left home, hitchhiked across Canada, went to a bunch of countries, lived with the Eskimos up north. And then I went, and I was always listening to my center. Okay, do this now. Okay, go do this. Okay, go do this, go do that. And you really get dialed in, and that being is inside of everybody. And that being, and that was before I did the Kundalini, and that being is there. The more you hold in, and the more you hold everything, and you don't tell people all about your plans or the things you want or what you did and what didn't work out, when you just sort of rein it all in and you start living from within rather than externally, then your life really picks up speed. And then you really start having peak experiences and you get blown away. Blown away. And I don't mean peak experiences with another person. I mean peak experiences for you. And I was being so blown away. And I think I've told you the story once. I jumped out of a 2-story building. I thought, that's it, I'm going to die. And that's just the way it is. And I stopped at the window and I said, can I do this? Can I jump out and land on my feet? And the voice came forward and said, yes. And so I did. And that's another story. I will tell you that story one day. But I've had many of those experiences. But the trick is not being disillusioned by yourself that you think you're Superman. The trick is really being able to listen and know when it's real. And that is a feeling. The feeling will tell you the voice that is real. Everything is about feeling, and everything you're learning is teaching you emotional intelligence here, which is critical. It's critical to everything. Not just the life you're living, but the people around you, and next week, next year, it's everything. This emotional intelligence, even when your mind can't explain it, you know it. Even when you can't convey it, you have that feeling of knowing, and sometimes you can convey it through a gesture, Understanding emotion is the key to living a dynamic life. And listening to your center, obviously, will result over time in massive self-trust, and really emotional intelligence, massive self-trust. That's it. You're done. You've got it covered. Those two things. Self-trust. Stop the doubting. And, it's so funny because I've had a bunch of years recently of this massive self-doubt. And then I got to the point, I just got so ticked off with everything. I just got to the point, yep, don't care, doing this. And then I'm doing that. And then I'm going here and I'm doing that. And boy, once I started making those decisions, things really started working out for me. And I just started really feeling better. Back to the old Cal. Back to the old Cal. Okay, yep, you can do whatever you like, but I'm going here and I'm doing that. And sometimes you have to get to that point where you are so fed up, or you're just so done with this, or you've just had enough of this, that you get to that point where you just damn do make that decision. You don't care. Self-trust, self-doubt, whatever, you're doing it. And that's when things really start to work out. And then you start really going, gee, and I really had the feeling, and I was repressing the feeling all the time. Because we do that, don't we? We're repressing our feelings all the time. So we're pushing them back, We're like, no, I can't do that. No, maybe not right now. Or, well, I'm really working on this. Or, we're always pushing ourselves back. Well, what if you took a year in your life and you didn't do that once? Yeah, you might have a bunch of mistakes, but you'd have a lot also good experiences that were perfect for you. And I'll bet you have way more of those than the negative ones. And when you do that, you start getting in alignment with your own personal power. And even when you fail, you don't care. There's no self-analyzing. It's like, okay, yeah, failed at that. I wonder how I can do that better. Or, I'm just not, maybe I won't do that next time, or maybe just for this time. Like, you work through it. You work through it. The whole thing is taking the action. The action is what teaches. And you can think yourself till you're blue in the face, and you can think, well, if I do that, I'll fail, and I'll have no money, and I'll be down, and then this, and then that, and then, oh my God, everybody will see or know, or then I'll have to crawl back to the old place, or that. When you stop the mind and you just start taking actions, and even if you fail, you stop the self-judgment, things really start working out, let me tell you. So I'm hitting that precipice again. I'm coming out of a long stagnation, because I'll tell you, after the Kundalini, when I hit the starry heavens and I aligned with that starry web up there, I had such a major download that I got stuck there. And that's the mind getting stuck there. Whereas it really has to be both. You have to have the mental aspect balanced with the somatic aspect. So you have to have the thinking and the exercise. You have to have the emotional stuff and the somatic work. Like, it really is two. It's living, always living between these two extremes, right? And trying to be balanced right in the center of your being. Oh my goodness, I've been talking for a really long time, so I'm actually gonna just cut everything off now. If you're still with me, that's great. I hope you got something out of this video, and really trying to get balanced and stay balanced. And there's another thing to be said about the whole balance, without getting too much into it, but the more powerful you get in body and mind, the more powerful these two energies on each side of you, you're trying to balance. That means the somatic work is deeper, and that means the mental activity is more involved. Like, it can be that if you want that. For me, I always wanted really, I kind of live in extremes. I'm trying to balance out now, but I have lived for most of my life in very extremes, and there's a reason for that. And I have to say that being balanced is a beautiful, beautiful way of being. And I have had glimpses into it, and I want that as a constant. And I hope you do too. I'm gonna let you go now. So I hope you got something out of this video. If you have anything to say about it, or you'd like to know more about anything, please post your comments below. I read all of them, as you know, and it's really great just to hear from you. As for the webinar is coming up in like 2 weeks. So if you haven't signed up for the webinar, sign up. I'm going to put the link below. And other than that, I will see you next time. Take care. Bye, everyone.